You got a better chance of catching me walking out of Walmart like the fan that I met the other night did. I was literally walking out of Walmart. She goes, "Oh my God." And I knew it was coming. You're Lexi. Hi, nice to meet you. Yeah. I hate it when people fangirl. God, do I hate it. But she was really nice. She wasn't bad. She's like, "Oh, I wanted to talk some more and whatever, but I didn't want to really bother you." It's like, "Oh my God, girl, you could have sat and talked to me for 20 minutes if you wanted to. You had my attention." And she did. She had my attention. I was standing there. She asked me if she can get a picture. I said, yes, absolutely. So she got a picture. You know, she was all psyched about that. And, you know, she says, "Okay, well, have a great day." And I'm like, "All right, I'll see you later. Thanks for following. You know, thanks for supporting." And I just kind of left it at that. She's like, "I so wanted to keep you so much longer and just talk your ear off." I'm like, "Well, you could have. You just didn't. So, you know, maybe next time." It happens. You know, I mean, like when you think about it, it's just like I'm not anything special. I'm really not. I'm just Lexi. I'm just a popular creator with, 60 people in my room. You know, I'm not huge at all. At least I don't think of myself that way. I don't think that I'm better than anybody else or that I'm famous or that, whatever. I just think of myself as Lexi, and I'm happy to have the supporters that we do, and the people that are here to make sure that we're here. I'm grateful to have all that, because in the eyes of me, I'm just me. You guys pay me for my time to be here, but sometimes it's like I can't believe that my time is actually valuable to somebody, and that means the world to me. So he says, "Lexi, you are famous in your own way," but I'm not. I'm really not, Zoe. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm really not. I do the same. I put my pants on the same way everybody else does. I either stand up and do it or I sit down in the bed and do it. I run out of breath just like everybody else. I do. You're right. I talk to people in England and Canada, New Zealand, Australia, South America, Mexico. Like, I get it. You're right. But I'm only known to those people that find me, not to anybody else, So you're right. Snoop Dogg. I love that you're on here. You can have a real conversation versus TikTok where you constantly have to deal with trolls. Yes, that's what I love about Twitch the most, is that I can have a real conversation with real people that actually give a fuck, and have a decent conversation. That is the much better thing about Twitch that I've tried to tell everybody. Like, that's why I tell you guys on TikTok, you're missing my best content, because my content is not on TikTok lives where I'm constantly dealing with the hate. My content is here where I can have conversations with people about whatever it is they want to talk about. It doesn't matter. By the way, my daughter was 17 months old when she passed away. She had double pneumonia. Her heart gave out. How is that relevant to the conversation, Zoe? How is this relevant to the conversation? How? This is not relevant to the conversation, Zoe. If every person viewer was all in a stadium that has ever seen you online, that's a lot of people. That'd be 130,000 people. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But let's get all those people in a stadium. That'd actually be rather cool. Just saying. Hey, everybody. They don't make a stadium big enough to accompany my supporters, to be honest. I don't think they make one with 133,000 people. They don't have a stadium big enough. So, Copper says, I agree. Here we get a conversation. It's way better. And that's what we like about it. And that's where my best content is. My content doesn't have to be anything specific or any topic in specific. We could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm telling you, if I could lick my cunt, I'd never leave the house. I'd never leave my house. Why? What's the need? I'd leave once in a while. I do have to go shopping. Come on. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I just call delivery. Anyway. Everybody just stop talking. Is it time for me to log off or what? Somebody said, oh, well, you're a grifter. You live off of other people's money. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, but we all live off of everybody else's money. I'm not the only one. And so I thought it was really funny when somebody said that to me, that they go, oh, you're a grifter. You live off of other people's money. It's like, yeah, you fucking idiot. We all live off of somebody else's fucking money. But I know, like I said, I know you guys consider me or us celebrities, but to us, we're just people. I don't consider myself any different than anybody else. I'm not better than any one of you. You're all the same. We're equal. We all have the same problems. We're high cost of gas, high cost of groceries, cost of living. We got to pay our bills.
Dealing with kids,
right? Dealing with fucking drama. Dealing with exes, dealing with our parents.
Yeah.
I got to deal with the same thing you guys do every single day. That's what people don't realize, is that my life is so normal, that the trans part of it is just the least interesting thing about it. Right? Dealing with my health. Right? Exactly. Like Krista was sick the last couple of days with a headache. I get sick too. You guys get to hang out with her here and whatever, but I promise you, she doesn't think she's a celebrity either.
I'm sorry. When we go out, people recognize you. They don't recognize me because
that's actually
they recognize you from TikTok.
That's actually true.
They don't know what the fuck a Twitch is.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
I didn't make it that way. Just that's the way it worked out. I mean, listen, I have videos of her on my account with me, so.
But there were a lot of local people
who
are on TikTok.
Well, that's what I was pointing out earlier. I mean, I know that we have a lot of local supporters too. You are famous for one reason, for keeping people here. I don't keep anybody here. You guys stay here on your own accords. I just gave you a place to go.
Online, nobody can make anybody do anything.
Dude, I can't make you guys do anything. I can't make you support the stream. I can't make you throw bits. I can't make you throw subs. I can't make you show up. I can't even make you chat. You guys do it all on your own. I just provide the platform. You guys are the ones to populate it and make it happen. So without you guys, we don't exist. Without your support, we don't exist. Like legit.